Hey everyone, welcome to Keller Acres. Today I am making some Snickers brownie protein bars, and these are no bake. Normally when you think of brownies, obviously we bake them, but this is going to be a Snickers brownie no bake protein bar. I think these are going to be delicious. I made something very similar to this, some different Snickers protein bars, and they were really good. This is just gonna be a little bit different ingredient wise, and the base is gonna be chocolate, where the base on my other recipe was not chocolate. So you can also look back under my Clean Simple Eats playlist for the other recipe if you're interested in that, or for some other great protein recipes, because why not get your extra protein through dessert? It's hard to get all that protein in. So I love making some desserts because I like to eat dessert every day, but I can also get more protein from my dessert. For this recipe, you will need 3/4 a cup of almond flour, and you can get that in lots of different places. I got this big bag on Amazon. Usually I get my almond flour from Costco. This was actually a really good value. So check this out. Nature's Eats, the original nut flour. This is a bigger bag than what I get at Costco. And I think price-wise, this actually might have been a little bit cheaper. So check that out. A 1/2 cup of protein powder, chocolate protein powder, obviously, because these are brownie. I am using chocolate brownie batter by Clean Simple Eats, but any chocolate protein powder will work. Then we're going to need a 1/4 cup of either cocoa powder, or I'm going to try to say this right. I believe it's pronounced cacao. I've always said Keiko, but I do think that someone corrected me recently. It's cacao, but you can also use cocoa powder. So anyway, this is what I'm using. I get it at Walmart. 1/4 cup of that. A 1/4 cup of any kind of nut butter. I am using almond butter. Get it from Costco. And then 1/3 a cup of maple syrup. I also get that at Costco. Love it. You can use maple syrup in so many things, and it's a non-refined sugar, so that's great. Love that. A pinch or so of salt, a little bit of vanilla extract, like a teaspoon or so. I usually just pour some in. This is my homemade vanilla extract. There is a video if you're interested. If you watch my videos, you're probably tired of me saying that, but I gotta say it for anybody that hasn't watched my other videos, right? Just in case they wanna make their own homemade vanilla extract. It's so good. So those are the ingredients that we need for our base layer. Then for our middle layer, we are gonna be using a 1/2 cup of peanut butter. I am using, again, love this peanut butter, no refined sugar in it. I get this at Costco, so good, so good. For recipes, it's not necessarily great for like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but it's great for recipes. A 1/4 cup of maple syrup, then a 1/3 cup of peanuts, and a pinch of salt. I am using this delicious sea salt that I get on Amazon. I'm also gonna sprinkle this on top of my bars because that salt, oh, it's so good just to have a little bit of salt mixed in with your chocolate. So I think that will be amazing. And this salt is so, so good. Highly recommend it. And then also 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. I like to get mine at Trader Joe's, but obviously you can get that lots of different places. Then for the top coating, we need a cup of melted chocolate. And I like to melt my chocolate with, did I put it away? Nope, here it is. I like to melt mine with this avocado oil shortening. It just makes it melt really nice and smooth and keeps it that way for a while, so that if you're melting it ahead of time, it's not getting, it just stays nice and melty on you, for you, not on you. Anyway. These are the chocolate chips I'm using. Big Believe, I just finished this package, obviously. I love these. I also really love the Hue baking chips, but I wanted to go ahead and use these up because I'm actually leaning more towards my Hue ones lately because they are not sugar-free. I love the sugar-free, I do, but it has those sugar alcohols in it. So I kind of prefer using my Hue ones, but I thought I'd use these up for this recipe. All right, let's get started with our base. Also, you do need to have your bread pan ready and lined with parchment paper. That just makes it a lot easier to pull them out and then cut them into bars. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started here. I'm gonna put my almond flour in the bowl. Again, that was 3/4 cup. My 1/2 cup of protein powder. Oh, also have a little bit of milk on hand just in case. We may need a little bit of that for the base layer. I haven't made this particular recipe yet, so I'm not sure, but just in case, any kind of milk, I have this on hand just to make sure that this comes together okay, has enough moisture. If it doesn't, then we'll just add a tablespoon or two of milk. All right, next I'm gonna add my cacao. It's hard to teach yourself to pronounce words differently, I feel like, than what you're used to pronouncing them. And again, I'm used to calling it keiko, but I'm trying. I'm trying to learn to pronounce that correctly. Put in my little bit of salt, a little sprinkle. Then add in my maple syrup. Kind of move some of this stuff out of the way. All right, pour that in. Mix that up, and these are just going to be going into the freezer for a couple hours or so. I might not wait quite that long, but we just want them to get nice and set. All right, add in my almond butter, and I do think we might end up needing a little bit of milk, which is why we have it up. All right, and if you don't want to add nut butter to this base layer, you can also use coconut oil. I love nut butters though, so good, adds a little extra protein, tastes great. I'm gonna go ahead and add in my vanilla too, so I can get a little more moisture in here. And I need a paper towel. Okay, shake this up. All right, I'm just gonna pour, like I said, I just pour. I don't measure that. I have some other ones. This one I made with vodka. I have some other ones going, but I need to get them in a more pourable bottle. I have my spiced rum one that I've been using, but it's in a jar and it's really hard to, you can't really pour from a mason jar without spilling. So I need to put it in one of those nice little bottles so I can use it and have it not be like a giant mess. I don't want to waste it. I don't want to be pouring it all over my counter. Ooh, this smells good. Really good. And it is one of those stiffer kind of doughs that also sometimes comes together better with your hands, but we'll see. I'm gonna work it a little bit here and then add a little bit of milk, and then we'll see. I may have to use my hands. It just gets kind of hard to mix in that nut butter really good with a spoon when you've got a thicker dough like this, but let's see what happens when we pour a little of that in, a little splash. See what that does. If you have any favorite, I'm gonna go ahead and use my hands. It's just gonna be easier. If you have any favorite protein desserts, feel free to share in the comment section. Love to hear what everyone else is doing. Oh yeah, this is so much easier. So much easier. It's nice and messy on the hands, but oh yeah. Now we're coming together just perfectly. I don't need any more milk. And you know what? You have to press this into your bread pan anyway. So you're gonna get your hands dirty anyway. Might as well just do it now, right? Make sure we've got it all mixed up really good. Oh, it smells so good. It smells like brownie. It really does. Okay, set that aside. Press this into the bread pan. Just wanna try to press it down as even as you can in here. All right, looks good. Here we go. Wash my hands. Okay, we're gonna set this aside now. Get our filling ready. I have a mess everywhere. Lots of chocolate everywhere, but that's okay. All right, got my half a cup of peanut butter. Love peanut butter. And to that we'll add in our maple syrup. And then our melted coconut oil. Stir this up really good. Then we're just gonna pour it over our base layer, and then we're gonna put the peanuts on top and kind of press them in. Here we go. Looks good. Pour this over the top. All right. Spread that out nice and even. Yum, yum. Looks delish. Now, sprinkle on your peanuts. And then just like I said, kind of gently press them into that peanut butter layer. And you can, of course, add extra peanuts if you want to. This is something my husband will actually eat as well because he has always been a sucker for a Snickers bar. Look at that. Looks really good. Now we're gonna pour our chocolate over the top. And then, like I said, I'm gonna sprinkle sea salt on the top. I recently sprinkled some sea salt on top of my almond flour chocolate chip cookies. Oh, that was so good. I had just wished that I had sprinkled them a little more heavily than I did because that salt on there was just really good. It just made the cookie. All right, we got that on there. Nice and even. I don't want to tip it too much because I don't want my chocolate to slide too much. Okay, it's gonna go in the freezer and I'll see you back here in a little bit to give these a taste. All right, I'm back with my Snickers protein brownie bars. These have been in the freezer, probably an hour, maybe a little longer, but I feel like they're set enough to give them a try. Peel off this parchment paper. Look at that salt. Oh, that is what is gonna really just add that extra yum to these bars. Okay, here we go. This one's kind of thick enough. That's probably kind of big, but look at that. Got that layer of brownie bottom, then your middle, more caramely type of layer with the peanuts, and then your chocolate on top. Yum, yum. I want to make sure I get some peanut in my bite here. There it is. Looks so good. Trying to decide where to bite into this here so that I'm getting everything. I think the back side of this is where it's going to be. These are delicious. And that salt on top. Definitely you need that salt on top. That just makes it extra good. These are so good. I love that chocolate and the peanuts and the salt. And there's protein in here. What could be better, right? Just absolutely delicious. Give these protein brownie Snicker bars a try. They are so good and so easy. You're gonna have to turn on your oven, and a nice cool treat for when it's really hot. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also check out some of my other protein dessert ideas under the Clean Simple Eats playlist. And I also have a lot of cottage cheese recipes out there too. Another great way to get in your protein.